June 2015, Berlin. Barcelona have just lifted their 5th European Cup. And in the middle of it all is a player who has already become essential to the way they control football matches. Sergio Busquets. By then, everyone at the highest level knows exactly what he is. He barely runs. He barely tackles. He just has the ball. Always. Opponents press him, and the ball disappears somewhere else before they arrive. For a decade, that is Barcelona's identity. You cannot win the ball off a team if you cannot find where it's hiding. 11 years pass, no European Cup returns to Barcelona. Busquets ages, leaves in 2023, and nobody replaces him. Not really. Jong is elegant but not a scream. Gavi is a competitor, not a controller. Pedri is a genius in space, not a shield for the back line. Barcelona keeps producing brilliant footballers who can do everything except the one job that used to make them untouchable. Every European exit since 2015 has a different name attached to it, but underneath, it's the same missing piece. Now in the summer of 2026, they think they found the answer. They usually build this kind of player patiently in La Masia over 3 or 4 seasons. This time, they're trying to sign him ready-made, straight off the plane from the World Cup. The captain's armband still practically on his arm. Rodri. 30 years old, Ballon d'Or winner in 2024, player of the tournament at Euro 2025. And weeks ago, in New Jersey, Golden Ball winner at the World Cup. Spain's best player as they beat Argentina's Messi to a 2nd world title. He collected Premier League titles and a Champions League with Manchester City. He plays the position almost nobody notices doing its job properly. He rarely loses the ball. He rarely needs to sprint because he's already standing in the space the danger was heading toward. The long diagonal that switches the whole point of attack, the body shape that closes a passing lane before the pass is even played, the calm that doesn't change whether it's minute 1 or minute 90. Barcelona used to have exactly this in midfield. It just wore a different shirt. But before any of the tactics, there's a story worth telling properly, because it very nearly didn't happen this way. Real Madrid moved first. Barcelona hadn't even made a call yet when Madrid's people were already talking to Rodri's camp. And for a while it looked like a formality. City's captain walking straight into the Bernabeu. Then the talks stalled. No breakdown, no fallout. Just days passing without real progress, while Madrid treated it as good and done. And Rodri, who wanted certainty more than he wanted a specific badge, started to notice the silence. That's when Barcelona moved. Hansi Flick got on the phone himself. He didn't lead with money. He led with a plan, walking Rodri through the exact shape of the role. Sit in front of the back line, protect a high-risk system, give Pedri room to play higher up the pitch. Rodri gave them the green light to open talks with City before Madrid had even settled their approach. Real Madrid supporters found out from the outside and were furious about it. Doors that looked shut for Barcelona a month earlier were suddenly wide open, because their biggest rivals had been too slow to walk through them first. It's the kind of transfer twist that writes itself. And it says almost as much about Rodri's character as anything he does on a football pitch. He didn't wait around to be chosen. He picked. Now to the football, because that's where this actually gets interesting. Barcelona's game used to be built around patience. Guardiola's Barça, then Xavi's, holding the ball until an opening appeared. Flick has taken the team in a more aggressive direction. His Barcelona presses higher, attacks faster, and accepts more risk to overall opponents. But the vulnerability Rodri would be asked to fix didn't begin with Flick. It was already there under Xavi. Look at the 2024 Champions League exit to PSG. Barcelona had control of the tie before Ronaldo Araujo's red card changed everything. Once the game opened up, the midfield became stretched. The spaces in front of the center-backs grew. And suddenly players like Vitinha and Mbappe were attacking a defense with almost no protection in front of it. 4 goals turned control into collapse. Under Flick's even more aggressive system, preventing those moments becomes more important, not less. That's the specific problem Rodri solves. It comes down to timing more than speed. Reading the moment the ball is about to turn over, stepping into the gap before it opens, standing exactly where the counterattack was going to run through, well before anyone else has clocked the danger. He kills transitions before they become transitions. For center backs playing a high line under Flick, that single habit means fewer nights spent, one-on-one with the striker bearing down on goal, not just on the nights everyone's watching. It also frees somebody else entirely. Pedri right now has to do two jobs: create and also drop deep to cover the ground Barcelona's midfield leaves open when it pushes forward. Put Rodri behind him, and Pedri stops being a safety net. He can live higher up the pitch, closer to goal, arriving in the box instead of retreating from it, doing the one thing he's actually best at. One signing, and Barcelona's best midfielder gets to stop playing defense. And then there's the game that really explains why this matters. May 2025, San Siro, Barcelona against Inter Milan, a Champions League semi-final for the ages. Barcelona went 2 goals down in the first half, dragged themselves all the way back to 3-2, and with just minutes left, it looked like they had completed the comeback. Then Inter equalized in stoppage time and finished the job in extra time. 7-6 on aggregate, one of the wildest ties in the competition's history, and also a perfect symbol of Barcelona's ceiling right now. Brilliant enough to lead, never quite controlled enough to close it out. That's not a talent problem. That's a control problem. In exactly the moments that decide trophies. It's the difference between being Champions League contenders, a team everyone enjoys watching, and being Champions League winners. There's a longer story here too, and it isn't about blocking anyone. Marc Bernal was supposed to be this generation's answer to Barcelona. A teenager built in the same mold, reading the game years ahead of his age. Then an ACL tear in 2024 took a year of his development, and an ankle injury this past spring cost him more time still. He isn't ready to carry a Champions League midfield alone. Not yet. And pretending otherwise would only set him back further. Rodri arriving doesn't end that project. It protects it. 2 or 3 seasons training and playing alongside a player who's already done everything Bernal is hoping to do one day, learning positioning and timing and decision-making from someone who's actually won the trophies Barcelona are chasing. That's not a roadblock in his path. That's the fastest, safest way to get him there properly. None of this comes without cost, and none of it should get glossed over just because the tactical case is strong. City wanted closer to 60 or 70 million euros. Barcelona's opening bids have landed well below that, and the two clubs are still working toward a number both sides can live with. There's a wage package to finalize too, even with personal terms largely agreed. Rodri is 30, coming off an ACL injury from 2024 and a minor back procedure just over a week ago. Durability is a real question here, not a footnote to wave away. And in that short term, every minute Rodri plays is a minute Bernal doesn't, at exactly the stage of his career when game time matters most for a young player trying to find his level. But step back, and the picture is still the same one Barcelona have been missing since 2015. A player who protects the back line before it needs protecting, who gives their best creator more room to create, who's built for the nights that go to extra time, not undone by them. 11 years ago, Busquets lifted a European Cup with the ball glued to his foot the entire way there. Barcelona haven't found anyone to properly do that since. This summer, for the first time since he left, they might actually have.